The Grady Great Knights versus the Columbia Eagles. Powered by SUV TV. Sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, representing the people and not the powerful. Motive Deals, motivated, digital, fundraising. Sports image, promotion, marketing, and management. And CoachHemi.com, the coach's source for X's and O's.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the campus of the Grady Great Knights as we get ready to bring you live action. The host Knights taking on the Eagles out of Columbia. We appreciate you joining us here on SUV TV as starting lineups have just been announced on both sides. We are in line for a very good matchup here in Region 6, Class 4A. Grady coming into the contest at 18-3. Columbia coming in at 7-11, but if you think either one of these teams is more focused on the numbers on paper, you got it wrong. This Grady team has been focused on going 1-0 each game. Big reason why they're off to a great start this season. And if you're Columbia, at the end of the day, you want to be clicking at the right time as we are here coming up on February, and it'll be a march to making before you know it. We're set to tip off. I noticed some discrepancies in the numbers there per on the Max Prep's website and what I actually saw there as the lineups were introduced. So I try to make sure I get that taken care of as this game goes on. Ball's going to be tipped. Blocked initially. That one stolen and brought the other way here by Devontae DJ Britton. Zavi Toomer will have it up top. He'll be guarded by Cobb. Now tries to work it inside. Nice catch in traffic and the finish. Score that one for number 15, Tyquan Bryant. Bryant comes into the contest averaging just under 10 points and about 7 boards a game. Doesn't take him long to get his first couple. So Columbia will have it, currently facing a 2-0 deficit. Eagles being patient on the offensive end. Floater. Looked like they had the rebound initially, did Grady, but instead picking up the pieces, sticking with it on the play. That's number 23 there for Columbia. That's Deion Palmer. Palmer ties us up at 2 apiece there with the extra effort. Talked about the numbers for both squads, 18-3 for Grady, 7-11 on the season for Columbia, but this is a very tough region to compete in. A lot of it has been the three-headed monster at the top, Grady, St. Pius, and Lithonia. But if you're Columbia, you're here at cluster night, in an environment to where we've got a pretty decent Grady crowd on hand. So if you can pick up this victory, it is not only a good region win, but definitely something you can use to gain momentum as we approach the stretch run here in this season. That one was nearly lost out of bounds, but Columbia keeps it. Let's get it over to the wing. That's number 10, Cobb with it. Grady team that doesn't make anything easy on the defensive end. You You might look at the airport test and feel like they're relatively undersized, but they make sure the size that they do have is used as Toomer snatches that one away. And you can see Columbia a little bit bewildered on the offensive end here early on. You can tell they're getting a feel for it, not rushing the offense, but it is going to take some patience and the ability to knock down some contested shots if they come away with this one. Meanwhile, Tyquan Bryant has his second bucket of the game. This time it's the fall-away jumper to go alongside the layup on the inside, assisted by Toomer. Toomer guarding the top of the key now. The Eagles will swing it over to the wing. Trying to go to work on the block. Strong move on the inside. Looked like Bryant got a piece of it. All over that pass, though, was Trey Bird as he was looking for the outlet, but didn't make sure the coast was clear. So it'll be stolen back by the Eagles. Anything you can do to get yourself some extra possessions if you're Coach Kerry Sandifer's team is going to be a good look. As Grady has come out a little stingy early on. Mid-range jumper, not a bad look. It won't go, though. Palmer with the offensive rebound. As the Eagles will reset. Nearly stolen, but the Eagles hold on to it. Now they've got numbers here in the half court. That was the case momentarily, but coming right back into the play there. I think that's Caleb Weinstock, number 21. I noticed a discrepancy between the Max Preps rosters and what was announced initially, so I'll make sure I get that clarified as soon as possible. But for right now, we've got a 4-2 advantage in favor of Grady. Here's a lefty three-pointer. That one's off the front of the rim. No offensive rebound coming away there as Toomer snatches away the long board. Toomer will be guarded by Palmer. Now he'll kick it out. That's a good look for three. Knocking it down. There for Coach Brian Whedon's Grady Gray Knight squad. That's the second assist of the game for Avi Toomer. This is my first time seeing him play in person all season. Bittersweet because, one, I get to see him in person tonight. Two, it shouldn't have taken me this long, but I tell you what, he's off to a pretty good start getting others involved. He's got 2 assists. Coming right back there for Columbia, though, is number 25. That's Trey Bird. Bird will make it a 7-4 ball game. Devontae Britton trying to turn the corner, has it poked away. Now he'll get it out to Toomer. Bryant setting the ball screen. Toomer, 2 strong strides, too long to keep him from getting that bucket. As the Bucknell commit makes it 9-4. That mid-range shot off the mark. Toomer couldn't keep himself in bounds, tried to get it to Britton. Unable to do so successfully, so it'll be 9-4 as we have a couple substitutions there on the Columbia end. We take a look at the Metro PCS instant replay. You see Avi Toomer just sort of sizing that lane up, protects the ball like a running back, and lays that one in up off the window. The young fella scores it easily, averaging 24 points per game here for the Grady Gray Knights. One of the best scorers in the state. Bucknell is getting a steal. That's sentiment that you can hear echoed around the Peach State. So at the sake of being redundant, we just got to call a spade a spade. The young fella gets it done, but part of an overall talented Grady squad that is one of the best in their region and in the state. Columbia trying to make a statement win here against said squad. As you see Britton trying to tighten up, he's going to be called for the foul. He's petitioning for the hook. You talk about DJ Britton, and we'll touch base more on that after this commercial break. So far, it's Grady 9 and the Columbia High School Eagles 4. We will be back after this commercial break here on SUV TV.
Are you sure I'm seeing okay?
Well, let's check. What do you see?
$30 a month, period.
Huh? About now?
Unlimited data, talk, and text on the 4G LTE T-Mobile network.
You can see fine, man.
Wow, it's perfectly clear. Only Metro PCS gives you unlimited data, talk, and text for $30 period on the blazing fast nationwide 4G LTE T-Mobile network. Switch now and get a free 4G LTE smartphone. Now at Metro PCS.
So I'm 2020.
No, 30 period.
And welcome back here, just on the outskirts of downtown Atlanta, as we get ready to resume play here between Grady and Columbia. It's a 5-point advantage for the host Knights. One of the best teams in the state record-wise for Grady is they forced a 5-second violation, but in terms of the aesthetics of it, the visual of it, none is better than the downtown Atlanta skyline that you get whether you're here coming into the gymnasium or at the football field. DJ Britton with the ball. Now he'll get it over. That's number 21. I'm verifying the names and the roster, so at the sake of not calling that man the appropriate name, I'll wait until we've got that verified. Columbia to inbound the ball. Hanging in the air, having that shot blocked by Devontae DJ Britton. Britton coming it the other way. Goes up with the left, switches it over to the right and able to lay it in, making it 11-4 in favor of Grady. Another steal by Britton. He's been all over the place. This one's going to be swatted against the glass. Nice defense as Columbia recovers there on that play. Still a 7-point advantage for the Knights. Remaining focused on being stingy on the inside, but Columbia feeling a little bit more comfortable out there in terms of not having to stand around the perimeter as much while waiting to attack. That's Lorenzo McGee, number 13, there with the bucket. – 11-6 ball game. And number 21 is going to check back into the game. He'll check in for Devontae Britton. Number 21 is Michael West. So Grady with it. Looks like they'll hold for the last shot here. 3 seconds to work with. 3 from the corner. That one's off the mark. Rebound going to be pulled down. And that is going to do it. Appreciate you joining us here on SUV TV. We're just getting started. 11-6 is your score as Avi Toomer sends you into the quarter break. We'll be back after this quick.
Seconds inbound pass to Marbury as he works on the defense of Johnson, dribbles by Robinson, takes it to the baseline, running jump shot, good!
About ready to get the second quarter going. It's a 5-point advantage for the Grady Gray Knights here, as head coach Brian Wheaton and staff look on, ready to start the second increment of this one. Zavi Toomer will bring it across. Bounce pass inside. That one's going to be floated up and in. Taekwon Bryant continues his steady play here in this one, like how Bryant plays hard. Doesn't do too much, just gets the job done. That shot goes off the window. Score that one for number 20 for Columbia. That's Terrence Boykin. We're going to see a little bit of a zone look here by Columbia. Traveling violation going to go there against Heron. So Ahmad Heron called for the traveling violation. That one's knocked away. The player wasn't even looking on the roll after the pick. It's poked away, and Toomer, much to the chagrin of some of these Grady fans here, just chose to lay that one up instead of dunking it. As a good player, he can get up for a dunk anytime. That pass thrown a little bit ahead of him. He wants to go ahead, secure the easy layup. Makes it a 15-8 ball game in the process. Columbia feeling like they have a mouse in the house there, but instead of going to the block, they'll penetrate, and it's going to be broken up. That's Heron with the steal. Gets it to Bryant. Bryant going to have that one knocked out of bounds, but they're going to say they got some arm and some wrist on that one as well, so that will send Taekwon Bryant to the free throw line. So I mentioned Bryant averaging about 10 points and 7 rebounds per game. Look at some of the key wins for this Grady squad throughout the season. Mentioned their Region 6 being one of the toughest in the state, St. Pius and Lithonia. The other two parts at the top of the region that make it such. It was a 51-50 victory over St. Pius on December 1st for Grady. Then they came back on December 11th and beat Lithonia by 10 here at home as well. Since then, the Knights have dropped one to St. Pius and one to Lithonia earlier in this week as well. So the type of region to where any squad can get you on any given night. Grady looking to bounce back after that Lithonia game and get one against Columbia. They're up by 8. Toomer trying to make it 11. Can't get the three-pointer to go. Rebound pulled out of there by Lorenzo McGee. Too strong there on the shot inside. Offensive rebound, but in need of a lifeline there was McGee. He couldn't get rid of it before called for the travel. The Knights swarm on the ball there, forced the turnover. And DJ Britton will bring it up with just under 6 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Bryant over to the corner. That's Heron. Heron can't get the shot to go. Jalen Cobb elevates. A tough shot there by Cobb. He knocks it down. Got that ball screen initially, hesitated for a second. That was more than enough time for DJ Britton to recover. So he stops on a dime, elevates, and splashes the mid-range J. Good shot there by Cobb. Makes it 10-16. Going to have a jump ball. Reaching in and tying it up was McGee. And McGee earns another possession there for the Eagles. Good play there by McGee as you see head coach Kerry Sandifer there for Columbia. Touching base with one of his Eagles, Coach Sandifer Coach known for disciplined teams that play hard. Was at Northeast Macon with a very good collection of Raider squads there in the Macon area for those few years in Bibb County. And since then, he's returned back to DeKalb County there at his roots to lead this Columbia Eagles program. So good matchup on court, good matchup on the sidelines in terms of the coaching staff as well. Coach Brian Wheaton at the head of this Grady program that has turned a lot of heads and really should turn more when you look at how they competed and what they've done in their region and the Peach State. Toomer guarded by McGee. The Eagles have really tried to crank the defense up on Grady over the past few minutes. Toomer guarded by McGee. McGee not trying to give him any space to work with. That's a high degree of difficulty shot. Toomer can't get it to go. Bryant on the offensive glass. He has it swatted away. Hellman and lunch pail bucket on the inside as Bryant just wanted that basket too much. Didn't stop until he got it. Number 15, Tyquan Bryant with that last one. He and DJ Britton have been great on the defensive end. Britton already has about 3 steals. Sure, he'd take another one here as we are under the 4-minute mark. It's an 8-point advantage for Grady. Nowhere to go along the baseline. Eagles kick it out. Here's a 3-point attempt. Good. Jalen Cobb. Cobb is showing the kind of, moxie and ability to score that is going to be needed if they're going to come away with this one. It's a contested mid-range jumper. Prior to that one, there was the 3. Strong take by Toomer. Stronger defense by Columbia. Coach Whedon wanted a foul. No foul call. Floater, no good. Like that last play, as you saw Avi Toomer attacking the cup hard, and you saw a hard denial there by Columbia. No call there. So a player as talented as Toomer doing what he does, and Columbia showing no back down either. It should make for a very fun couple of quarters remaining here in this one. Under the 3-minute mark until halftime. The Eagles get it into Cobb. Cobb with 5 first half points. Trying to work that one inside. A little bit of high-low action there, and there's going to be a foul there as Sarad Little was setting up. Little has had a size advantage with most of the players that Grady has thrown at him in terms of the defensive end. There you really saw Columbia make a concerted effort to try to get it into him. Cobb, defended by Britton, can't get the shot to go. Rebound going to be pulled down there by number 42. That's Weinstock. That's Caleb Weinstock. Britton pulls it back out. Coach Brian Wheaton tells them to run something, so they set it up accordingly. One substitution of note, Avi Toomer getting a breather here for Grady. They have a 5-point advantage. Britton not being given a lot of room to work with. He'll swing it back out to the top. And here's Javier Russell. Britton, that'll be a 2 if it goes. Cannot get the home bounce. And the Eagles can't really say momentum's in their favor. They still trail by 5, but in terms of making Grady feel a little bit uncomfortable on the offensive end here on their home floor, they've succeeded over the past few minutes. I think we all knew the game wouldn't be won in the second quarter, so plenty of game left. But I think if you're the Eagles, you just want to stay within striking distance, not let things get out of hand here with a good crowd on cluster night at Grady. They've settled down a little bit. Jalen Cobb has been a big reason why. Trying to set up on the inside is Jared Cobb. Now he'll go to the other block to see if he can get it in. Instead, they'll go to the top of the key. Cobb A little frustrated as he's going from block to block. Columbia still can't get it into him. Active hands and the angles not to the Eagles' liking so far. We'll see if they actually end up holding for the last shot of the half here. I don't think that was by design at first. They were just trying to probe the defense, look for a good shot, but Grady has made them exacerbate a lot of the time. So I think now we'll definitely see a situation where they hold for the last shot. Terrence Boykin, guarded by Britton. Britton gets a hand on it. Boykin gets rid of it to avoid the five count. Now they get it inside to Cobb. Cobb muscles that one up. He misses, but I tell you who doesn't. Lorenzo McGee. McGee giving it all he's got. Personally took it upon himself to try to make things as tough as possible on the offensive end for Avi Toomer. And while he still has his work cut out for him with plenty of game left, really showing some good energy now is Lorenzo McGee. But Columbia will be called for the foul there. Just their second team foul. As Avi Toomer will check in just for this possession. They'll have it thrown in by Tyquan Bryant. Toomer trying to get open. They get a look to him. He loses the handle temporarily, and that won't go even if it is good. That is going to send us into halftime. 3-point advantage for the Grady Gray Knights. Columbia Eagles showing that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with here in this road region game. We'll be back after halftime here on SUV TV.
The Grady Gray Knights versus the Columbia Eagles. Powered by SUV TV. Sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, representing the people and not the powerful. Motive Deals, motivated, digital, fundraising. Sports image, promotion, marketing, and management. And CoachHemi.com, the coach's source for X's and O's.
Seconds inbound pass to Marbury as he works on the defense of Johnson, dribbles by Robinson, takes it to the baseline, running jump shot, good! 2 seconds left.
The feeling of the perfect shot feels effortless to me. Right when I release that shot, it just feels serene and quiet. It's only me and the rim and the basketball. With my height, to have an impact and to be the player that I wanted to be, I needed to change my shot, and that was going to be something that would be beneficial for the long term. The process started just breaking my shot down from the initial release to the follow-through. And there were days that I couldn't even get the ball to the rim. There were days that I couldn't go outside of the paint area. It was very frustrating to not be able to shoot the way that I wanted to. The hardest part of that process was definitely the patience. But if I just stuck to getting better every day, eventually I would be able to shoot where I wanted to, anywhere on the floor. I went through some tough days, but found a way to just persevere and see it through. It starts with a great base and great foundation and allows everything to feel perfect. I can do all things.
You sure I'm seeing okay?
Well, let's check. What do you see?
$30 a month, period.
Huh? How about now?
Unlimited data, talk, and text on the 4G LTE T-Mobile network.
You can see fine, man.
Wow.
It's perfectly clear. Only Metro PCS gives you unlimited data, talk, and text for $30 period on the blazing fast nationwide 4G LTE T-Mobile network. Switch now and get a free 4G LTE smartphone. Now at Metro PCS.
So I'm 2020.
No, 30 period.
Put it on your angle. And welcome back here to Atlanta. Grady versus Columbia. We are seconds away from halftime. Coming to a close and us getting back to the action here as we've got a tough region contest between Grady and Columbia. Some of the things that I'm going to look for here in this second half is, can Columbia continue to try to maximize the defensive pressure against Avi Toomer? Avi Toomer, a player that kind of lets the game come to him, doesn't force it, but a talented scorer as well. Can Columbia match that intensity on the defensive end? Because you know things are only going to get tougher when it comes to staying in front of Avi Toomer and minimizing his buckets here in the second half. And also, can players like Jalen Cobb for Columbia be able to provide enough scoring? Because even if you play great defense, you're only going to keep Toomer and Britton and Tyquan Bryant, off the buckets portion of the box score for so long. Do you have enough firepower to be able to match what they do on the offensive end? That's a question that remains to be answered for Columbia. Getting the home bounce, or the home bounces, I should say there. That's number 12, Javier Russell. Russell makes it 15-21. Stopping and popping is Boykin. He can't get it to go. Loose ball picked up and scored there by number 24 for Columbia. That's Justin Longstreet. As Longstreet makes it a 4-point game. Toomer for three. Ice cream. Avi Toomer from the top of the key. His first three-point make of the game. His second three-point take. Got to put a caveat by the first one, as that first one was just trying to get a shot up to beat the buzzer in the first half, finishing above the rim with authority. Sarad Little with a dunk that was anything but. And that's what I talked about in some of the keys to the game for Columbia. Can they match the point production for Grady? Little with an emphatic yes there on that last dunk, but they catch him sleeping, and that's going to be a lay-in on the other end for Caleb Weinstock. Weinstock makes it 19-26. Little back up top. Here's a lefty jump shot. That one's off the mark. Ball tipped around. Knights had it temporarily, but didn't protect it, and it's going to be snatched away by Jared Cobb and laid in by Justin Longstreet. That will bring Columbia back to within 5. Weinstock has that one rejected. Now the Eagles running ahead. Getting back on the play there was Michael West. As Mike West is going to have a seat. Jalen Cobb with it up top. Gets Gets it to Boykin. Boykin has that one knocked away. They're going to call the foul against Toomer. While we wait for play to resume, let's take a look at the Metro PCS instant replay. You see Boykin with the crossover, drops it to Little. Like a fella that can finish, he's within a certain radius. Forget the layup and seeing if it goes in. Go ahead and do a chin up on the rim and make sure. So Rod Little does there on that play. That second Boykin free throw in and out. Wanting to get it inside to Weinstock are the Knights. Instead, they take one extra pass prior to getting it in there, and it's poked away by the Eagles. Finish on the other end counted for Lorenzo McGee. And if you're Weinstock, you know, he went up like he was looking to foul and then tried to get out of the way, but really that just makes for an easy three-point play. As you can see him come there, then not much of a contest after that. You're going to get called for the foul anyway. Might as well make it count and make sure McGee's not able to get the three-point play the hard way. He's got the front end at the free throw line now with a chance to follow through on the back end. And I'd imagine Coach Brian Whedon echoing that similar sentiment there on the sidelines. Toomer being guarded by McGee. McGee has done a pretty good job in terms of the status report so far, but there's different phases throughout the game. I think we've seen the phase in terms of, you know, Toomer getting others involved. He started the game off with 2 assists. We haven't really seen him get into put my head down and get to the rack mode. A player that knows how to pick his spots. So while you give McGee kudos for making sure he hasn't totally gotten out of hand up to this point in the game, you know that Columbia is anything but out of the woods in terms of Toomer making his presence felt there on the offensive end. He's got 5 points here in the second half. We'll have a substitution. Let's take a look at that earlier score by Toomer in the second half. You can see him a good 2-3 feet behind the three-point line, and that's just way too much space for Toomer. Knocked that one down earlier in the second half. It's now a 5-point game after his most recent trip to the free throw line. Active hands there. Britton trying to save it. Does so successfully. Will the Knights give it right back? Bryant trying to make sure that they don't. Now he'll get it ahead to Britton. Britton with very active hands here in this one. Bryant for the jumper. Can't get it to go. Cobb with the rebound. Boykin had that one stripped away. He regains it, but gets caught between the rock and the hard place there. He was already behind the goal, had 2 Grady defenders waiting on him. And Avi Toomer and Taekwon Bryant, neither of which is an easy guy to get a bucket against. Toomer over to Britton and back to Toomer. Approaching the 4-minute mark here in the third quarter. Toomer hands off to Britton. Britton, he'll try the 2. Off the back of the rim. Rebound pulled down by Longstreet. Gets it to Jalen Cobb. Cobb, that pass a little bit too much mustard on it. Can't be handled by Jarek Cobb. But last touched by Grady, so it will be Boykin to throw it in there along the baseline. To Little. They say he was fouled on the play. I'm not sure whether there was a foul or not, but I talked about Little and his ability to attack the basket when they drop it off to him. He doesn't even get that foul called if he goes in weak. 1, Grady's going to smack it the other way, but 2, you know, from an official standpoint, whether it's, you know, direct or subconsciously, when a player goes up strong, a lot of times it can be the difference between getting a foul call and being told, boy, stop. Little flushed it the last time he got the opportunity. Didn't make it there. but got a chance to go to the line. I think if you're Avi Toomer, he may or may not be focusing on it, but he hasn't gotten really any home court calls. Not that you expect that, but you don't expect the foul calls to go against him. As you can see that in some of the body language of not only Grady, but also Coach Whedon. Not a squad that you're going to see do a lot of complaining. They play hard. They focus on the task at hand, but they don't want to see too many ticky-tack calls go against them because they haven't gotten much. I think overall the officials have done a good job of letting them play. And in what could be a very good final 11 minutes or so of this one as we're at the 3:30 mark of the third quarter. Hope the officials continue to let them play for the most part. It's Grady trying to extend the pressure. You see Jalen Cobb, number 10 there for Columbia, directing traffic. Having a seat there is going to be number 23, Deion Palmer for Columbia as he touches base with Coach Sandiford. In his place is going to be Lorenzo McGee, who's drawn the assignment of Avi Toomer for most of this game. Toomer bottled up, gets it to Britton. Britton has that one partially blocked by Little. McGee trying to get it out of there, and we're going to have a jump ball. Reaching in and forcing it on behalf of Grady was number 25. That's Martin. It's Charles Martin reaching in and forcing the jump ball there. Britton floats it up. Can't get it to go. Cobb with the rebound. Cobb protecting it as you see Britton trying his hardest to get it back. Nowhere to go there is McGee. He's looking for a foul. None called. All balls. He's ripped by Britton. Britton will pull it back out. Now get it over to Toomer. Toomer rises, elevates, and is good. There in front of the Grady High School cheering section. He's paying them no mind while giving them something to cheer about. As we're going to have a timeout. This crowd feeling it on cluster night here. You can see Toomer was sizing that one up. As we speak, 2 Eagles in the vicinity. Good defense, better offense. Avi Toomer trying to get things going here at Grady. We'll be back after this commercial break. Two minutes, 37 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. It's now a 23-33 ball game. Grady has extended the lead to double digits. Coach Kerry Sandiford and Columbia calling a timeout. We will see how they respond out of it. As you see more pressure extended by Grady. They're able to get it across the timeline. Coach Whedon wanted to travel. They can't get it. And I can tell you right now, most coaches won't be happy off of a broken press and a missed alley-oop attempt. I can definitely tell you Coach Kerry Sandiford probably won't be happy about it. Very meat and potatoes kind of coach, has a certain system, a way he wants things run. Sort of old-fashioned in that regard. He's going to chalk that missed alley-oop attempt up as a mulligan. His team continues to play hard. Meanwhile, Tycon Bryant, too strong on the inside. Gave you the nutshell summary on Bryant. Plays hard, doesn't do too much outside of his game, but can do things well. One of them being finish whenever the table is set. You see Toomer with another assist, and you see that off arm up there to brace himself for the contact. He threw it. He can't get the second one to go. Or a free throw attempt after the shot to go, I should say, but it's still a 12-point game. Now here's Toomer leading the break. Gonna drop it off. gobbled up there by a couple of Eagles, and it's Toomer on the second opportunity that is going to send him to the free throw line. So Avi Toomer, he's going to be a member of the Bison there at Bucknell. Bucknell, one of those squads that, when it comes to my brackets, I always kind of watch who they're scheduled against. But sometimes they can definitely pay upset dividends when you look at the big dance time. And when Avi Toomer's there, I'll definitely be picking some upsets there. But that's the road ahead. He's focused on getting this win versus Columbia. So far, the Knights are in good shape. Momentum fully in their favor. Now they're running the floor. Here's Britton. Britton, a little bit too much mustard there as he tried to spin that one in off the glass. Now here's Cobb. Cobb hesitates for a second, shows the ball in, lays it in. Jalen Cobb. As I mentioned, I've liked his composure throughout this game, but now it's time to get a little bit more of a sense of urgency in terms of scoring the ball, as Grady is threatening to pull away. It's a 12-point game after that Cobb bucket. Here's Toomer, hesitates for a second now. He'll kick it out to the corner. Three-pointer on the way, just off the front of the rim. Going to be rebounded by Little. Little trying to make sure he takes care of it, gets it to Cobb. DJ Britton expounding a lot of energy, having to stick with Cobb on one end, but really just the way he plays all over the place. Good hustle, but you wonder if it'll take a toll. And we're going to have a foul on the play. Looks like it's going to go against number 25. It's Martin. It's Charles Martin, and headed to the free throw line there. It's going to be number 15 for Columbia. That's Cobb. Jarrett Cobb. First free throw's good. It's Cobb trying to get things settled for after this free throw. Misses that one. Ball snatched out of the air by Tyquan Bryant. Now they'll get it ahead as Russell. Toomer kind of grimaced a little bit there. Thought he saw Bryant open for a second. Study long, study wrong, so just aired on the safe side, brought it back out. Now he's guarded by Cobb. Lorenzo McGee has guarded Toomer for most of the game. Looks like Toomer and the Knights will hold for the last shot. So we're going to have a 5-second violation there. That's a tough call to make. Let's take a look at it, see if Toomer sort of broke the cushion that you need to break in order for the 5 seconds not to be called. Looked like he had got to the point to where Cobb was trailing him for a little bit. So it could be a quick 5 count, could be a bad call. Either way, I won't second guess the official. I'll say we play on as the ball goes the other way. We've got 5.8 seconds remaining here on the third quarter clock. Boykin to throw it in for Columbia. Gets it to Jalen Cobb. Cobb over to Jarrett Cobb. Jarrett to Jalen. Jalen for three. So we go into the fourth quarter. We take a quick break first, but not before the Eagles were able to cut this deficit to single digits as Jalen Cobb over to Jarrett Cobb, hand and face. Doesn't matter. He knocks it down here on the road versus Grady. And we'll be back with the fourth quarter. Don't go anywhere, folks.
The Grady Great Knights versus the Columbia Eagles. Powered by SUV TV. Sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. Representing the people and not the powerful. Motive Deals. Motivated, digital, fundraising, sports image, promotion, marketing, and management. And CoachHemi.com, the coach's source for X's and O's.
seconds inbound pass to Marbury. As he works on the defense of Johnson, dribbles by Robinson, takes it to the baseline, running jump shot, good! 2 seconds left.
I don't know about you, but I am ready to get this fourth quarter rolling. And so are Grady and Columbia. Appreciate you joining us back here in downtown Atlanta as we get ready for a great finish to another tough Region 6 Class 4A matchup. Here's Grady trying to extend this 8-point advantage that they have over Columbia. Columbia trying to close the gap. Boykin driving baseline. Fouled on the attempt. Foul's going to go against number 12, Javier Russell. You look at some of the recipes for success, obviously, relatively speaking. You know, can't say Columbia's been too successful here because they've trailed for the majority of the game, but when they've been at their best in this game, they've had that young man at the free throw line, Terrence Boykin, involved, or just being able to use that length and that handle to create opportunity for himself, or dropping it off to a Sherrod Little, who's been able to finish above the rim at multiple times. Jalen Cobb's leadership on the floor has been good up to this point in terms of staying within striking distance, but in order to really get over that hump, they're going to need a lot from Cobb, Boykin, as well as Little. Getting the step there. Easy button layup on the inside by Javier Russell. They say the first step can be something else. A mean one there by Russell as he lays it in. Little with the power dribble, right into trouble though. Is going to be stripped by DJ Britton. He's already got 5 steals this game. Ahead to Taekwon Bryant, who lays it in. Bryant went up there with intentions on dunking that one, but goes for the safe finish as he adjusts in the air. I'm sure Coach Whedon would take the 2 points either way, as I guess it just sort of worked out there for Jared Cobb. Went in the air with one plan. Got caught up for a second, but is still able to get that one to go off the window. 9-point game. Britton with it, guarded by Boykin. Mid-range jumper, no good there by Russell. Now here's Cobb. They get it inside to Little. Little going up against Bryant. Takes it right at Bryant and lays it in and talks a little bit afterwards. Strong move there by Sherrod Little. Coach Whedon not happy with his team's failure to help there on that one. That's just a weight room move on the inside there by Sherrod Little. And that's against a player in Taekwon Bryant who spent some time in that weight room himself. So just a strong move by Little. Grady fails to help. And Little makes it a 6-point game there with the blue-collar 3-point play. Now Lorenzo McGee has resumed his duties defensively against Toomer. Toomer in and out with the 3. Rebound going to be brought down by Cobb. Over to Boykin. Boykin has it poked away by Britton. He won't get credited for the steal there, but again, wreaking havoc, drops it off, and Taekwon Bryant running the floor and in a position to finish. DJ Britton and his impact on the defensive end cannot be oversold. But Jalen Cobb, he provided some timely buckets in the first half in terms of making sure they stayed in this thing. There he hits a big one in the second half to make it a 5-point game. That one's going to be knocked away, and they're going to say off the leg of Martin. Martin is going to have a seat back into the game for Grady. It'll be number 21. It's Michael West. It's now a 5-point game after that Jalen Cobb 3-pointer. There's Boykin. Up top to Cobb. Cobb going to use the ball screen. Now he'll try the 3. That one way short. Ball's loose. Pieces picked up by Jared Cobb. Jalen Cobb missed. Jared Cobb there to scramble for it, get it, and lay it in. We've got a 3-point game. Toomer over to Britton. Britton guarded by the long T.J. Boykin. The lead still on the side of Grady. Momentum threatening to change addresses as Columbia has tightened up on the defensive end. And look at a position there to where they're ready to steal one on the road. Boykin called for the travel. Didn't like the call, but it looked like the right one. Let's see if he changed that pivot foot. So you see, good call by the official there, an easy one to make. So we're gonna have a timeout. We'll take one with them. Appreciate you joining us here on SUV TV, and we'll be back. 4 minutes, 26 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. A 3-point lead for Grady.
Are you sure I'm seeing okay?
Well, let's check. What do you see?
$30 a month, period.
How about now?
Unlimited data, talk, and text on the 4G LTE T-Mobile network.
You can see fine, man.
Wow.
It's perfectly clear. Only Metro PCS gives you unlimited data, talk, and text for $30, period, on the blazing fast nationwide 4G LTE T-Mobile network. Switch now and get a free 4G LTE smartphone. Now at Metro PCS.
So I'm 2020.
No, 30, period.
And welcome out of the timeout. We're under the 5-minute mark. I'd say you can label this as, I won't call it crunch time. We'll call it pre-crunch time. Right around that 2-minute mark, we'll go ahead and upgrade it to crunch. But for right now, the Knights are feeling the crunch of the Columbia Eagles defense as they have made points tougher to come by over the past few minutes. Toomer lost his footing. So Columbia comes away with it. Boykin gonna pass it ahead to Cobb. As the Grady coaching staff works to get that wet spot up on the other end when they had just sort of congregated over there during the timeout. Nobody got the wet spot up. Toomer slips. Now Bryant going to be fouled on the floor. McGee not happy with the call. Thought he got it cleanly and tied it up. As you see the coaching staff there for Grady working to make sure they get that wet spot up for everybody's safety. See head coach Brian Whedon there in the mix. He's helped lead this Grady team to an 18-3 record. He's done a lot of good things for this community on and off the floor for the game of basketball, and really just, you know, the Atlanta Entertainment Basketball League held here there during the summer, which was great for the community and the sport. So achievement in every field of human endeavors, something Coach Brian Whedon is about. Trying to help coach this team to make sure they get a tough region win here. They're 12-2 in the region, tied with St. Pius X for second. As Grady is 13-1 at the top of the region. That one loss coming at the hands of Grady. Nice job of drawing the defense by Britton. Kicks it out for the open three, no good. Following his shot and falling is Michael West. West going to be called for the travel. Coach Whedon wanted the call. They get no such call. This Grady crowd not happy here at cluster night as the official goes to give Coach Whedon an explanation. Then we'll have a timeout. So they take a timeout. We're going to take one with them. We've got 3 minutes, 3 seconds remaining here at Grady High School as they try to hold on versus Columbia.
The Grady Great Knights versus the Columbia Eagles. Powered by SUV TV. Sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, representing the people and not the powerful. Motive Deals, motivated, digital, fundraising. Sports image, promotion, marketing, and management. And CoachHemi.com, the coach's source for X's and O's.
Put your seatbelt on for the final 3 minutes and 3 seconds of this one. Grady with a 3-point advantage over Columbia as the Eagles inbounded. Boykin with it, being guarded by West. West trying to make it as tough as possible for him to get it across the timeline. He's got it there, and West sticking with him like white on rice. Cobb gets it back to Boykin. Boykin gonna try the mid-range jumper this time. Good. DJ Britton has to go back and grab that one. And we're going to have a timeout by Grady. They've definitely got to tighten things up. So miscommunication there between Britton. He goes back to get it so they don't lose the possession, but still enough for Coach Whedon to grab a timeout. Talked about TJ Boykin being a factor here in this one. When a player that height with that sort of wingspan, you can get a hand up like Boykin did on that play, and it can still not mean much. He's still just able to look over and splash that one. Talked about the recipe for a success for Columbia, what it would take to win this one. Boykin was a key part of that. Jalen Cobb from the point guard and table setting position, and also some plays on the inside by Sherrod Little, being able to finish when he gets an opportunity to do so and provide whatever physical presence he can on the inside. But make no mistake, that's more on the scoring side of things. But Lorenzo McGee, number 13 for Columbia, he's really come out here with the task of making sure that Avi Toomer is contained to a certain extent. And I'd say so far, he's done a good job of making sure that Grady and Toomer haven't run away with it, but still, nobody's out here for moral victories. Both teams are looking to win it. And with that being said, Columbia is going to have to keep Toomer from doing what he does in crunch time. Not an easy task. Toomer draws 3 defenders. Now gets it to Britton. And that's the thing. Grady's going, whether it's Britton, whether it's Tycon Bryant, Toomer is going to draw attention. But it's very hard to keep out of that painted area or out of that mid-range. So for the rest of the nights, they just got to be ready to do what they do in terms of finishing, whether it's a Britton, a Tyquan Bryant, who's proven that he can do that, or players like Russell, who we saw get a speedy layup drill earlier in the second half. This time he's going to have to go to the free throw line to earn both. 42-43 is your score. Still a one-possession game. Russell with the chance to change that. That one in and out. So Russell misses both free throws. And it's still a 1-point game. Under the 2-minute mark. Boykin over to Cobb. Cobb guarded by Britton. Cobb calling for the ball screen. He'll get it. Tough shot off the front of the rim. Tyquan Bryant battling for it. He tips it to Weinstock. Now here's Britton weaving through blue jerseys. He's got West running with him. Britton fouled on the play. And I'm not sure what the argument is there by Sherrod Little and a couple of the Eagles. I mean, that's an easy foul to be able to see. As you can see Britton Sky elevate there, you see the contact. You're playing hard, trying to deny the bucket, but it gets to a point to where you don't want to ruin credibility by arguing a call like that. An obvious foul. And a good foul to make sure Britton doesn't finish and make him go to the line and earn these. Same way they did with Russell. Russell couldn't make either of the last 2 free throws, and here Britton misses this first one. So the philosophy of committing the foul, sending Grady to the line, and making them put you away, or making them knock down their free throws for their points, that strategy has yielded dividends for Columbia the past 2 trips. 4 free throws, none of them makes. Boykin working on the inside, and he's going to be fouled. That foul looks like it's going to go against Russell, and it will. So that'll be free throws for Boykin. It's 18 fouls against Grady, 17 fouls against Columbia, so we will shoot free throws on each team foul for the remainder of this one. 1 minute, 19 seconds on the clock. Grady hasn't fared as well at the free throw line. We'll see what Columbia can do. Boykin's first one is good. And this is that point to where I mentioned Grady 18-3, 13-2 in the conference. Columbia 7-11 overall, 4-10 in the conference. Why those numbers mean nothing for a matchup like this, is still a tough region. It's still high school basketball. Any team can get the other on any given night. And Columbia trying to win a tough region game here on the road. Avoiding the charge there is Avi Toomer. That's just too strong. Mentioned Lorenzo McGee and the Eagles have done a pretty good job on him up to this point. But he's still a hard player to keep from scoring. As we're going to have a technical foul against Grady. I think Avi Toomer wasn't happy. Felt like he got fouled there on that last play. That's going to send Jalen Cobb to the free throw line. Did you see Coach Kerry Sandifer still talking to his team? It's 44-45. Cobb nails that first free throw. If you're Coach Whedon, you like to see that dog in your leader in Avi Toomer, but he's got to be smarter than that. Can't pick up a technical at this juncture in the game. But Toomer, a player that I imagine he'll have a short memory on that. He's focused on making the next play he needs to for his team. We take a look at that last play. Here he's going to avoid the charge. Looks like he is fouled there by Cobb. No fouls called, and he's not happy about it. Feels like some of those fouls have gone against him. Not happy about getting that one, or not getting that one, I should say. So he lets the ref know, and he picks up the technical foul. 45-46 with 1 minute and 8 seconds left. Columbia now has a 1-point advantage, but that's sort of what we talked about. I gave Lorenzo McGee credit, for the job he's done to make sure Avi Toomer hasn't totally exploded in this game, but he's still a player that can create his own shot at will. I think he's going to really look to wreak havoc in this final minute and 8 seconds. But with Columbia getting the basketball out of this timeout, Grady is going to have to get a stop. I don't imagine that they will foul right away. They'll just play defense, see if they can force a turnover. And if you're Columbia, I would expect Coach Kerry Sandifer's team to come out and possibly try to run a little bit of clock here. Oh, it can be a delicate balance. You want to run some clock, but if you're able to get a good look at a shot, what you don't want to do is turn the ball over playing not to lose instead of playing to win. Out of this timeout, you're going to see Grady try to turn the pressure up, see if they can force a Columbia turnover. Jalen Cobb has been steady with the ball for the majority of the game. We've seen what Terrence T.J. Boykin has done as well. I think you're going to see Columbia try to make sure they get the ball out of those guys' hands and turn the pressure up to see if they can get a turnover here. 1 minute, 8 seconds remaining here in this game. It's a 1-point advantage for Columbia. Cobb is going to hand it off to Boykin. Boykin with it. Boykin with the turnover. Going to be stolen there by Russell. Russell coming the other way. He misses the layup. Taekwon Bryant, Johnny on the spot with the rebound and the lay-in as this Grady crowd is feeling it. That's a big play right there. Talked about Tyquan Bryant. Just does what he's supposed to do. Russell misses that shot. The goal was shaking a little bit, but it looked like that shot was off anyway. Tyquan Bryant just wanted that rebound more than anybody else, snatched it out of the air, and laid it in. Then Bryant comes down, knocks down the free throw as Coach Whedon gets a timeout. This Grady crowd here on cluster night is loving it. As with 51.7 seconds remaining here in this one, it's a 2-point advantage for Grady. We're going to keep it right here. Talked about that last time out where Grady really wasn't going to come out and foul. They were going to turn the pressure up, see if they could force a turnover. Mentioned Jalen Cobb. He's been a cool customer with the ball. He's made sure they minimize turnovers. So Grady really pressured him to get it out of his hands. And even though Boykin has been a usual suspect in terms of production for them, he's definitely the lesser of two evils versus Jalen Cobb having the ball in his hands if you're going for Grady and against Columbia. They got it in Boykin's hands, and Boykin turned it over there on that pass. You saw Russell on the first attempt, too strong there on the layup. But Tyquan Bryant coming up big there on that last play. 10 points per game, about 7 boards per game. A very important rebound and point combo there as he has given Grady the lead by 2. Here with 51.7 seconds remaining here in the game. Frankie Beverly playing in the background. Even got some of the youngsters dancing to it. A couple of the old heads saying that they don't know anything about it. Whatever your familiarity with Frankie Beverly is, you're enjoying some good basketball here. Region 6, Class 4A, 2-point game. Grady leading. Jalen Cobb with it. Tough shot, good defense, better offense. Cobb hits a big one there, even though he was defended well by Russell. 48-48 is your score. I envision a scenario here to where Grady is going to hold for the last shot. Here's Toomer. Toomer hangs in the air, gets it out top to Britton. Britton, as Coach Whedon gets the timeout. Coach Whedon gets a timeout, but talked about Jalen Cobb, why he's a guy that Coach Kerry Sandifer wants to have the ball in these sort of moments. That's good defense there by Russell. But we've seen multiple times this game where Cobb has just been able to get to the mid-range and elevate. Great job of doing it there. Now we've got Apache playing in the background. Been a lot of fuss about, the Oscars, Will Smith. People feeling like he was gypped. I know this song always brings up the memories of Will and Carlton there on that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episode. But for right now, we've got a more important task at hand as Grady is trying to make sure Columbia doesn't hop back on that bus and head to DeKalb County with a tough region road victory. And Columbia trying to make sure they do just that. 23.2 seconds remaining. Javier Russell will inbound it. They get it to DJ Britton. I think this is going to be all about Britton setting things up and trying to make it to where they get it to Toomer with the right time. About 10 seconds left. Sure, Toomer's going to look to get it. Toomer trying to let the play develop, but you can tell he really wants it. Russell has it. Gets it over to Toomer now. Toomer, step back jumper for the win. Off the mark. So it took him a long time, longer than he wanted, to be able to get a hand on that ball. They finally get it to him, but by that point he had to take a much tougher shot. So we are going to go into overtime. Of course it would take beyond regulation to finish this one. Neither team trying to give an inch. We see Jalen Cobb with the shot that tied us up at 48 apiece. Wheeling, dealing, and finishing on the inside there on the Metro PCS instant replay, and we will be back with overtime shortly.
The Grady Great Knights versus the Columbia Eagles. Powered by SUV TV. Sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, representing the people and not the powerful. Motive Deals, motivated, digital, fundraising. Sports image, promotion, marketing, and management. And CoachHemi.com, the coach's source for X's and O's.
And welcome back to Grady. I say the crowd is still pretty upbeat given the fact that their team wanted to close it in regulation. They were unable to. I think part of that could be confidence in their team, that they'll be able to come out with the victory regardless. Part of that could be with the way the DJ's been rocking. They're glad to get a couple more minutes with the tunes. We tip it off for OT. Boykin gets one defender, has another one flying at him, still has the wherewithal to be able to knock down the shot. He gives Columbia the first lead of the overtime period. Answering right back, Devontae Britton. (50-50). Cobb has the baseline cut off. He'll have to come back out. There's Boykin. Brings it back out for Columbia. Here's Jarrett Cobb on the wing. Cobb looks inside for Little. Little back to Cobb. Cobb, tough shot, gets the bounce. 52-50. Britton had Weinstock open for a second. Did a good job of not trying to force that pass after the lane was closed. Russell with it now. Toomer trying to make sure he gets the touch. If I'm Grady, I cannot go a possession here in this OT without Avi Toomer getting a touch. Russell there along the baseline. Pass intended for Weinstock. Britton picks up the pieces and floats it up and in. Devontae DJ Britton. I know I say his full name a lot, including the nickname, but he's kind of just got one of those names. It's hard to leave a piece off. It's kind of like the sports photographer here in Atlanta, Ty Freeman. Can't just call him Ty or Freeman. You got to call him Ty Freeman, man. It's just a habit. Devontae DJ Britton makes it 52-52. He's got 4 points here in the overtime period. Boykin with it. Now over to Cobb. Cobb might have passed up a wide open shot. Goes in. Little has that one poked away, and it's going to go off the hands of Sarad Little. Good heads up play by the official, as he was right there on that one. That ball goes off the hand of Little. Little a little shaken up, but here's Britton. He's been hustling on the defensive end, trying to stick with Jalen Cobb. Picks up the broken play, for lack of a better word, and is able to float that one up and in there with the giant killer floater. Britton makes it 52-52, and now Grady can take a lead here with 1:29 remaining here in the game. Russell with it. I think Russell has made some good plays. Has to do a better job of being able to get the ball to Toomer earlier in the possession. Toomer doesn't have to take a shot, but he's got to have a touch just because of what he does to draw the defense in. That was a risky pass. Toomer comes away with it, still guarded by McGee. Out to Russell. Russell, pass inside to Taekwon Bryant, who just does what he does. You need somebody to finish in traffic, through contact. Look up Taekwon Bryant. You're going to see Russell there. Drops it off to him. And Bryant, another potential three-point play the hard way here down a crucial stretch for Grady. So we're going to have a timeout there taken by Columbia. We're going to take one with them, but one more look at it. Talked about Russell just getting Toomer a touch. He got 2 touches in that possession. Back to Russell. Now Russell sets the table for Taekwon Bryant, and this young man eats as he's been doing all game. We'll be back. Millie rocking here at Grady as they try to hold on versus Columbia.
Seconds inbound pass to Marbury as he works on the defense of Johnson, dribbles by Robinson, takes it to the baseline, running jump shot, good! 2 seconds left.
And welcome back to the Grady High School Gymnasium as we are ready to get the final 57.3 of this one rolling. It is a 2-point advantage for Grady. After that last finish by Taekwon Bryant, he has a chance to push the advantage to 3 points. If he can knock down this free throw, the last time towards the end of regulation when he had a 3-point play opportunity, he went to the line, knocked the free throw down. And can do the same here. Fans on site relying on him. That one off the back of the rim. So still a 2-point game as Jalen Cobb and Columbia bring it across the timeline. Cobb over to Boykin. Justin Longstreet with it up top for Grady. Or against Grady, I should say. That's Russell defending the ball. Longstreet hands it over to Cobb. Cobb not happy with the way the offense is moving. Cobb not happy. Wanted Boykin to come up. There for the dribble handoff. So it's 27.7 seconds remaining here in this one. I think if you're Grady, you see a similar strategy to how they did there as they forced a crucial turnover in the last few minutes of regulation, where the biggest focus was making sure they got the ball out of the hands of Jalen Cobb. Not to say that Boykin isn't a capable ball player as well, but you'll take your odds with a Boykin, a Sarad Little, a McGee, a Jared Cobb, or a Sarad Little. You'll take your odds with the ball in their hands versus a Jalen Cobb, who's done a good job of keeping a tight handle on the ball, but also has hit some tough buckets against some pretty good defense, whether it be from Devontae Britton, Javier Russell, or multiple representatives for this speedy guard core for Grady. 27 seconds remaining here in the game. Lorenzo McGee will throw it in for Columbia, gets it to Boykin. Coach Sandiford, he's up. I don't see either coach sitting for the remaining of this one. I don't think either one of them have been sitting since about the 2-minute mark in the fourth quarter. Boykin, pass intended for Longstreet, and they turn it over. That's what you talked about, the talented Boykin. He's just a sophomore, so plenty of learning to do. He's going to learn from this one, whether they're able to come back and win it or not. Turnover in a crucial setting there. But if you're Grady, You did what you wanted to do. Get the ball out of Jalen Cobb's hands, make it tough for him to get it back and make someone else beat you. Or prompt them to the turnover, which they did there. Avi Toomer at the free throw line. 4 missed free throws in the stretch, or down the stretch there in the fourth quarter for Grady. Avi Toomer didn't take any of them. He's at the line with a chance to ice it. Knocks down the first one with no problem. As I mentioned, Toomer averages 24 points a game and 10 boards per game. Does more than just score it. But make no mistake, he scores it. Whether it's from the free throw line or outside of it, hits 2 key free throws there. Sarad Little there with the drive. Fouled on the play there by Weinstock. So with 3.7 seconds on the clock, Sarad Little heads to the free throw line. Little misses the free throw. Second free throw coming for Little. He misses that one too. Rebound gonna be stripped away. They'll pass it ahead. And Devontae Britton, I don't think that one's gonna count. I don't think Devontae Britton or this Grady crowd cares if it counts. That's game time root. As Grady holds on to a tough one. You see DJ Britton sending us home here on SUV TV. Grady winning a tough region contest against Columbia. No reason for the Eagles to hang their heads, but it's Grady coming away with this one. Thanks for joining us here on SUV TV. Until next time.